I am standing in K. McFarland Japanese Garden, a 5-year-long project that was the dream of one female trailblazer in Kansas's criminal justice system. The Kansas Chamber is behind this survey. It shows Kansans are ready to reopen the state's economy and get back to work. The incident happened around 11 this morning here at Southeast 1st and Madison Street, and the scene is clear now, but there's actually some debris left behind. Fire investigators are out here now working to determine what started the fire. We'll post those updates later on WIBW.com. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, Neil and Doris have been limited to contact through a window 6 feet apart. But with 75 years of marriage to celebrate, the nursing home made an exception. Earlier today, healthcare workers stood here with their eyes to the sky as they were honored for their efforts battling COVID-19. Lionheart even allowed its members to check out equipment that they could take home and use during these workouts. The Senate Judiciary Committee also met briefly today to discuss this bill. There's a lot of debate going on the House floor right now, so we'll have more on that later on at our news at 10. Goodyear CEO Rich Kramer says he deeply regrets the impression the slideshow has created and wants to clarify their strong support for law enforcement. In a statement released Thursday, Goodyear's top officials said they are clarifying their policy to make it clear employees can express support for law enforcement in the workplace. This comes after Goodyear received criticism for a slideshow listing Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ issues as acceptable, and Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, MAGA attire, and political material under unacceptable. Senator Jerry Moran says he's glad Goodyear is correcting the mistake.
I'm pleased to see the company express their regrets, issue new statements, and certainly the suggestion that they are fully supportive of local police and police departments across the country.
CEO Rich Kramer said the slide was created by an employee at the Topeka plant in an attempt to explain what is acceptable to wear in the workplace. He maintains it was not approved or distributed by Goodyear corporate. Moran says he hopes this doesn't deter Kansans from expressing their views.
While there may be reasons that you would want to regulate what goes on in a plant, in a business, it doesn't involve political discrimination. You can't favor conservatives or liberals one side over the other. The Topeka Goodyear plant is important. It's important to this area of Kansas, northeast Kansas. It's important to our state. It's a major employer, and we're proud to have them here. But they need to get their policies straight so there's not a bias between different political points of view.
And we asked Moran what his thoughts are on the president's call for a boycott of Goodyear. He said he would not make that suggestion as they are an important part of the Kansas economy.
Freedom for everybody! Freedom!
We're here to get our voices heard.
David Schneider organized the protest.
We believe that Kansas needs to be opened back up for business.
The movement attracted thousands on Facebook, and hundreds of people made the journey to Topeka.
I'm out here to protect my natural rights. I think the governor has kind of overstepped her authority.
What we're seeing is an infringement upon those rights, and those rights are granted to us by God and not our governor.
With signs in hand and flags flying, protesters say they want to be heard.
We want our lives. We want to work. We want to have freedom.
We wanted to put our words into action and show our children this is not just us, but there are a lot of people who believe this.
We just want to be a voice with the rest of Kansas. We don't want things to keep getting extended.
Their goal, get Governor Laura Kelly to reopen Kansas.
Right now, we've got a governor that has no plan.
It's time to open the state back up. We are not in crisis mode in Kansas.
We don't think the coronavirus is worth destroying our economy.
We just hope that Governor Kelly and all the lawmakers with her will just realize that it is important that all of Kansas gets back to work.
But not everyone in the crowd supported their cause.
We just happened to be driving by and we saw all the protesting going on.
This sign sported a different message.
Stay at home, stay safe, continue the social distancing. This is not a hoax. This is real.
Schneider maintains Kansas just needs a plan.
We need some real clear leadership, and we're not getting that out of Topeka right now.
In Topeka, Alyssa Willetts, 13 News.
Oh man, there's a baby in there, a 2-year-old. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Topeka fire crews responded to an apartment fire on Southwest Polk August 4th.
Initially, it was very chaotic. We did know we had a rescue. Dispatch was able to tell us that while we were en route. So guys kind of step up their game a little bit.
A rescue situation, you really don't know how you're going to act. You just got to rely on your training.
When they arrived, neighbors were scrambling to help a toddler trapped on the second floor.
Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Did y'all hear the baby?
I got to the corner of the house, and the mother of the child came around the corner and said, my child is in this house still, and she's right up there in that bedroom.
Lieutenant Matt Freeze says he has kids of his own and knew he needed to react quickly.
Hopped up the ladder, got to the window, got to the fire door, went on around it, came to a bunk bed, reached up to see if she was in the bunk bed. She wasn't, so I started crawling again, and I just crawled right over. She was unconscious and limp.
He was able to carry the 2-year-old down the ladder where an AMR team was waiting to give CPR. The girl was then taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The responding crews say it was the team effort that led to the positive outcome.
All teams from Stormontville to AMR to Topeka Fire Department, it showed on that scene. My 25 years, this is why we train together, this is why we work together.
We come in every day to make a difference and to help people. And that day, fortunately, all the pieces of the puzzle came together and we were able to make a difference.
As Lieutenant Free reflects on that chaotic day, he says the emotions come pouring back.
It's a bad situation. It was. The kid is going to make it, I hear. But ultimately, 6, 7 people they lost their home. I don't think I'm a hero. The soldiers fighting over in Iraq or Afghanistan are heroes to me, but I think I just did what I hoped that any other fireman would have done.
In Topeka, Alyssa Willetts, 13 News. V. Highland says she began donating henna crowns as a way to empower those who have lost their hair due to cancer. I spoke to one of her clients today who says she's never felt more confident.
Going through chemo, it's rough, and so when somebody wants to help you, it just lifts your spirits up.
Sherry Collins has stage 4 metastatic breast cancer.
In 2010, I had colon cancer, and then 2019, I found a lump, and it was breast cancer, stage 3. And then February this year, I found out that it had spread to my liver.
To lift her spirits, Collins' niece referred her to V. Highland, owner of Essential Henna by V.
She said that V was donating her henna crowns, and she thought it'd be something fun that I might like to do.
V started her henna business 8 years ago as a way to share her culture with Topeka.
Sitting down with the client and talking to them about my culture, it helped me through that process of accepting who I was.
Now she's helping others feel comfortable in their own skin.
I had a henna client one day who had shared her story going through chemo and how she had lost her hair. And she told me that she wished she had known me during that time because she wanted to get a henna crown. And I felt like that was such a bold thing to do that I instantly fell in love with it. And that's how I decided I wanted to give back and do henna crowns.
Henna is a temporary tattoo that can last up to 2 weeks. V says the products she uses are all natural and homemade.
It contains eucalyptus oil for my regular blend, and anyone who has cancer or wants to get a pregnant belly done, I do a lavender blend.
Collins says her henna crown has given her a newfound confidence, and she thanks V for that.
Being bold, sometimes it's kind of scary, shy, people stare at you, and now when they look at you, they're like, oh my gosh, I love your henna, where'd you get it done? And it made me feel really, really good.
The County Corrections Department signed a contract with Securus Technologies this week to add digital mail services in an effort to keep drug-soaked paper out of the inmates' hands. For years, illegal contraband has been stripped from inmates at the Shawnee County Department of Corrections. But the latest issue they've seen is illegal drugs coming in through paper mail.
We're seeing anything from heroin, K2, any type of synthetic drug, opiates, fentanyl, all those kind of things that are being liquefied, and then they're soaking paper in it, and then they mail it in.
Corrections Department Director Brian Cole says the drug-soaked mail is hard to spot because it's odorless, giving the inmates easy access to use.
What we have found is that inmates are taking it, and they're taking bits and pieces of it, and then they're chewing on it, or they're ingesting it.
To put a stop to it, the Corrections Department will now use a digital mail service through Securus Technologies.
They will open the mail, and then they will scan it. and then it will be sent to us in a file folder, and then we will put it on the tablets or the kiosks for inmates to access and read their mail.
Cole says the cost of the service will not be an issue.
The increase in sales that we've seen from the tablets, because they're very popular with the inmates, will cover the expense. So I think it's important for the taxpayers to know that this is not a budgeted item or nothing that the taxpayers are going to be funding. The inmates are funding this themselves.
With safety and security a top priority, he says this is desperately needed in the county.
This is nothing new to corrections, and Shawnee County, by all rights, is far behind a lot of other institutions. So we have to stay up with the technology and the ingenuity that we're finding.